It sucks that if I want to be sane, I have to stay busy. You know, man, as I've gotten older, I feel like I'm no longer chasing any dreams. I'm just running away from feeling still. You know what I'm talking about. When everything in your life slows down and you have nothing to do and nowhere to go. Suddenly, all the thoughts and feelings I've been avoiding catch up with me. There was a dude on Instagram that posted, "I know why I waste so much time. It's because I do not want to feel how much time I am wasting." And I seriously thought, damn, I think that is so real. That we start doing random stuff just to avoid realizing how much life we are wasting. We start scrolling, we refresh the same 3 apps, and we pretend we're resting. The thing is, it's not laziness. It is fear cheating under the disguise of distraction. And not just about random stuff, but when you're actually busy in some work, and people applaud you for it, right? People are cheering in your ears while you're busy doing something. "Ooh, you are hardworking, disciplined, productive." I'm like, sorry, buddy, being busy isn't the only sign of discipline. It's literally the body's defense mechanism to not feel yourself and escape in any way possible. Some people are not even addicted to work. They are addicted to avoiding that feeling of silence or feeling small, which means we must leap from what we've been hiding. All this mental stress, and we try to hide it with noise, with work, with exercise, with just one more thing, before bed. Then wonder why in the world we are feeling displaced and inner peace feels foreign. My therapist once told me that a person's brain changes frequencies when they create. She had said people feel happiest when they are building something, whatever it be, painting, playing an instrument, or just writing. And it's true, we can feel it. That small moment, it feels like flow state when your brain doesn't remember to panic. And here's the thing. I don't create just to feel joy in that moment. I create to survive. If I am not doing something, brushing my hair, putting on shoes, or fixing plants, I feel like I am disintegrating. It's not even productivity anymore, it's like medication. Then I came across another post. Someone commented, "I can't relax. Every time I do something to relax, I start to feel guilty." Dude, I could have written that sentence. You're sitting on your bed, completely stationary, and you think to yourself, I deserve to rest. Then 10 minutes passes, and you're thinking, why am I not doing something? It's as if your own brain is chastising you for simply resting. Which honestly sucks, because we have this tendency to call that being driven, when it's really just anxiety in a suit. We've managed to make stress a personality. I came across this article. Someone compared their anxiety to a black hole. They said, keeping busy was like it was keeping thrusters on a spaceship on until they get into trouble. Because the minute you take your thrusters off, it just collapses in on itself like a black hole. And I can totally empathize with that. That's how it's felt. Like, everything you're passionate about, your job, your routines, etc., are all just fuel until you collapse. You tell yourself, I'm doing all right, I'm just keeping busy. But you know damn well that you are just delaying the pull of gravity. You're afraid of what happens when you finally drift. And that's the part no one talks about. The fear behind being busy. It's not about achievement. It's about control. When you're busy, you can pretend you have some sort of control over your life. But when you stop, or it's quiet, you see how little you actually control your life. And that's a terrifying realization. So we keep going not because we're strong, but because we're scared. There was something a nurse wrote about having 2 part-time jobs, being a full-time student and caring for her cats, and that she hasn't taken a break since high school. I just hate being tired all the time. But if I stop, I'll lose my mind. And the sad part? That it is so many of us. We have tied our sanity to being exhausted. We determine our worth by how drained we are at the end of the day. And then an observation someone else put online was something like, "You're sacrificing today for a stable tomorrow, while others sacrifice tomorrow for today." That stopped my scrolling because it was a true observation. The grind feels safe. Even if it slowly kills you, It keeps you from falling behind.
But here's the thing. Sometimes behind doesn't even exist. It's only a shadow you're chasing. You feel like everyone is doing better because they look happy on social media, but they're just busy too. Busy in their own way. Tired in their own way. We all put up the facade of functioning when really we're just running on empty. And when we do stop, we freak out because if there's no movement, we can think. You're left with thoughts that want you to work through things you don't want to work through. And I'm not saying that to preach like I'm above it. I've done it too. I tell myself I'm working on something important, and really I just don't want to sit still. I say I'm focused on progress, and really I'm scared to be alone with my head. And sometimes I'm even scared of peace, because at this point, peace is unfamiliar due to so long in chaos. When you've lived in fight or flight for a long time, calm feels like danger. And then you run, even when there's nothing to run from. But you know what I figured out lately? Being busy doesn't heal what broke you. It only gives sweet relief from that tension in your body, only to come back after the hug/meeting/project is over. It's simply not possible to outrun emotions. Sure, you can silence them for a bit, stuff them down with plans and agendas, but they wait. And then the moment you stop running, they knock again. And then you get to decide. Keep running or open the door. There is a type of bravery in stillness that no one talks about. Because doing more is simple, it is a buffer you can hide behind. When you are still, you are confronted with everything. And it is awful. But it's also the place where healing begins. I've started asking myself, what am I avoiding? Whenever I get the itch that I just need to open my comp again, even as I find myself writing out a plan for next week at midnight, 9 out of 10 answers are not, I need to be productive. It is, I don't want to feel worthless, or I don't want to feel sadness, or I don't want to feel alone. And as soon as you name it, it is not so powerful anymore. Like turning on the switch in a dark room. You see the mess, still, but it is not as scary as it was. I reckon growing up is coming to the realization that peace is not something you earn at the finish line. It's something to practice when life isn't done. You'll never get to a day when everything is completed. All your email is read, and the brain is completely still. If you wait for that to have peace, you'll be waiting for the rest of time. Instead, peace is practicing stopping, mid-chaos, and breathing anyway. And I'm not saying to stop working. Work creates structure. Purpose gives life value. But it's easy to mistake action with meaning. You can act without moving. You can have a full calendar with an empty heart and mind. Sometimes, slowing down isn't falling behind. It's realigning. Someone dropped this great quote in the comments that I loved. We stay busy because we don't know how to just be. That's it. We have forgotten how to just be. How to exist without a timeline, without measuring, and without urgency. We've forgotten that we have permission to sit in silence and not shame ourselves while we do it. Well, I'm not claiming to have it all worked out. As I write this even, I caught myself checking my phone 3 times already. What is it? A habit? A reflex? A defense mechanism? Whatever it is, at least now I am aware of it. That's step 1. Noticing when you are running. And then wondering, from what? If you always need to do something just to remain sane, maybe you are not okay. Maybe your sanity deserves more than to be held hostage to fatigue. Maybe peace is not something you arrive at by doing more, but that you make a space for by doing less. It's hard as hell, I know. And so is living your life like it's a race with no finish line. If you're listening at this moment and you are feeling guilty about resting, stop. You have permission to breathe. You have permission to not fill every second. You have permission to just be, without having to prove that you are. The world will not come crashing down if you let yourself take a minute. And if it did, it wasn't that stable to begin with. I'm still frustrated that I have to stay busy to find sanity, but maybe the goal is not to come out of overwhelming busyness overnight. Maybe it's to slowly become comfortable with quiet, to be able to sit a little longer each time without panicking, to build a new kind of sanity, one that doesn't rely on noise. And someday, maybe we'll stop running from stillness. We'll learn to interface without guilt. We'll learn to exist without distraction. And maybe we'll, in the end, understand what it means to feel peace. Not the peace you get after everything's complete, but peace while everything's still incomplete.